Hi guys, Mrs. Clark again. So last week and the week before I did one video to try to kind of help you guys so that you can see a familiar face when you're going over new skills. And the issue is this week that as I'm watching and trying to pick out the videos for surface area of triangular prisms and volume of triangular prisms, as I'm watching the videos, I'm like, I think I could explain it maybe in a little bit more simplified way so it doesn't get so complicated and it doesn't stress you out. So that's why you're seeing me twice this week. So talking about surface area of triangular prisms, remember this is what your triangular prism looks like when it's all put together. And when you're finding the surface area, what we're talking about is basically, if we could, cutting on one of the sides or vertices of the triangular prism, and opening it up and laying it out flat and finding the area of each of the faces. So I drew, and you know what this is called. This is a net. You learned about those last week. This is the net of the triangular prism. And what you maybe see here is that there are 5 faces that we have to find the area to, okay? But the first thing we have to do is figure out what the dimensions are of each of the faces, okay? So I'm going to number these. I'm going to call this number 1 and number 2. Notice those 2 faces are going to be exactly the same. I'm going to call this 3 and I'm going to call this 4. Again, those 2 faces are going to be the same and have the same measurements. And then this is face number 5. All right? Now, we need to figure out what the dimensions are that go with this triangular prism with each of the faces. So number 1, you've got this triangle here. You've got a base of 6 and a height of 3. Okay? Well, what you have to do to find the area of a triangle is multiply the base times the height and divide it by 2. So this is going to be 3 times 6, which gives you 18. And then you're going to divide that by 2, and you're going to get 9. The same thing is going to be the case for number 2. So this is a 3 by 6. You get 18. You divide by 2, and you get 9 as the area of the triangles. Okay? So now let's go and see if we can figure out the dimensions for this side or face, which is the same as this one, which is 3 and 4. Well, it looks like this face has a length of 10. Okay, so this is 10. Okay, so when we are trying to find the area of this face right here, we need the length measurement, which is 10, okay, and the width of this, which is actually, I wrote it in, it's going to be 4. So this is going to be a 10 by 4, which gives you 40. So face number 3, okay, is going to have an area of 40 units squared. And face number 4 will have the same area because they have to be equal to each other in order to form that shape. Okay? So now, the last one we have to do is figure out what the area would be of the bottom part of the triangular prism. Okay? This is, again, going to have a measurement of a length of 10. The longest side is 10, okay? And it looks like going across, the width of it is 6. So this is a 10 by 6, okay? And 10 times 6 is 60. Now, these are all units squared. Now, for finding the surface area, we wanted to know what the area was of each of the faces. So now that we have all these numbers here, what do we need to do with those numbers? Add them up, okay? So 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 40 plus 40. Well, 40 plus 40 is going to give me 80. But I'm looking here, and I'm just trying to do some mental math perhaps, and 40 plus 60 gives me 100. So I can add 100 to that, and then I only have to add another 40 to it, and I am going to get my total, which is 158 units squared. And that is one of the ways that you can find the surface area of the triangular prism. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you next week.